Hey everyone, it's Tony from Mr. T's Toys, the place to review and discuss vintage and modern toys and geek out over fandoms from today and yesterday. And today I'm geeking out over my Xmen 97 5-pack. This is from the Epic Hero series. It's basically a toy line for kids, but I love the X-Men, and I certainly love the X-Men 97 cartoon that just came out in 2024. A continuation from the 90s X-Men series, which when that series came out, it was very hard for us to get it, or at least for me to get it in Canada here. I had to buy the cassettes, the VHS cassettes, and watch it that way. Very easy to access it now, obviously on Disney Plus or even the DVD sets. But I absolutely loved the X-Men as a kid and as a teenager, young adult when this series was out. I loved it. And to get some toys based on the series is pretty fun and exciting. So this is a 5-pack. I can't remember what it was exclusive to. I just know that I didn't come across it in the wild. I ended up picking this one up. There's some damage on it here, so I don't mind opening it up. Ended up picking this up off a secondary seller. But you can see, the figures posed on the back. And it is worth mentioning that I think like a lot of these figures and some of the villains from the series are available in the 6-inch scale, the Marvel Legends scale. I just did not feel the need to get all of those. But a smaller 4-inch scale, I thought that's pretty cool. I could maybe mix and mingle these guys with my Joes. So I didn't actually bring any G.I. Joes out for today's video, but I do have a couple of figures that we can compare these to, just to see how they line up next to. So, but we've got Cyclops here, we've got Storm, we've got Gambit and Wolverine and Rogue, as they refer to as Marvel's Rogue. I don't know if there's another Rogue of some sort, but anyways, let's open this box up, get these guys out, and I don't know. I mean, I'm not keeping this box, so maybe let me just cut these, and I don't know what's in the box. There's a lot of ties on here, so I think I'm going to take apart the box here and see what's what. There is some nice, artwork here that's a good representation from the show. So I might want to keep that intact. It does look nice. Okay, there we go. We figured it out here. So yeah, so let me know in the comments if you watched the X-Men 97 series and if you liked it. I watched it. I thought it was good. It really had the feel of the 90s show, I think. I think I prefer the 90s show, but it was still pretty nice. All right. So not too much on the back. Look at all of these ties to keep this all together. Holy smokes. All right, so probably going to be easier for me to cut all the backs off here. And get these figures out. Now, I think I've mentioned it in some of my previous videos. My favorite X-Men, in fact, one of my favorite superheroes of all time is Wolverine, and I've enjoyed him since I was a kid. Him being a Canadian and all. We didn't have a lot of Canadian representation for superheroes. Of course, there was Alpha Flight, but and a few others. But Wolverine definitely was one of the favorite Canadian heroes. Jeez, these are really strong. I feel like I'm gonna break my X-Acto knife. All right, one left here with Cyclops. Here we go. We got them out. And then there's some accessories in here as well. So let's a little baggy. All right. Let's take a look. So these have got some pretty decent articulation. Oh, look at that. Leg just fell right off. Hopefully that's a one-off. Gosh, he doesn't have a neck. Very stout. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 points of articulation. Sculpt is okay. Something's weird about the torso. I don't know if they're all gonna look that way or if it's just Wolverine. But paint app seems to be okay. I mean, you've got the claws kind of not that straight. I'll take a blow dryer to that, see if I can improve that at all. It looks okay in 2D, but there's something off about Wolverine's neck there. So let's I don't know what accessory he comes with. I think some weird pink plasma. I mean, that makes sense for Gambit, who charges cards and throws cards. So there's Gambit's weapons, some charged cards. But Wolverine's little flaming claw here, that's interesting. I wouldn't think that that's supposed to be blood, but if I was a kid, that's probably what I'd pretend it was. So I guess that's cool if that's blood. Wrong color for it. Rogue's got some power punch here. We've got, oh yeah, Cyclops' optic blasts. We'll see if we can get that on him. And then Storm has some lightning and her cape. Let's get Storm next. She's sporting her mohawk from her mohawk phase. Appears to be the same articulation. She's constructed a little bit better. The neck is really stiff, but I feel like she looks a little bit more normal than Wolverine. Interesting. Gosh, doesn't even want to focus on her. She's really limited movement, though, if you want to wear her cape. Gosh, she's really small. So that looks okay for a pose. But if you wanted to do anything else, her cape's gonna have to come off or look funny. Interesting choice. Have it set up that way. Rogue, by far, I think Rogue looks the best. And I mean, I'll show you the rest here, but her face sculpt is pretty good. Really done a really good job of capturing, you know, how she looked in the 90s and then Xmen 97. So, but these elbows, these joints are, I feel like that's gonna break. I'm gonna have to warm that up before I try to pose her. For now, she'll keep that arm straight. But her face isn't perfect, but it's pretty good. She's not bad. Better than Storm. Better than Wolverine. All right, Cyclops. Being a kid with glasses, I always pictured myself as Cyclops. And actually, this is a pretty good toy. It done a good job on his face, his visor, the colors. It's really nice, actually. Might be better than Rogue, just because Rogue's face is off a little bit. Now, this optic blast thing is, it is not really, you guys can see that. Gosh, doesn't want to focus. If I was a kid, I'd think that's pretty lame. That doesn't really look like it. Like, you got to make it so that it doesn't have this loop. Even kids, you know, they use their imagination and stuff. That looks that looks pretty funny. So I can't. That's kind of useless to me. The only thing that I might do with this, cut off this loop here and figure out some way to have that coming out of the visor. I don't know how you would, there's like a little indent there. So if there's a way to whittle this down with the X-Acto knife, but get it big enough that it could actually fit in there, that's the only way I would use this. Otherwise, this is not something that I'm gonna put on these figures. Other than that, Cyclops is pretty awesome. All right, let's look at Gambit here. So what is this? I don't know what this black thing was. I think it was just a piece of the rope. But he's got his trench coat. It's, you know, fairly standard Gambit costume here. Good representation. They've done a great job with his hair and his face sculpt. The kind of red eyes, if you can see that. Even his fingerless gloves. And he's got this one like he's throwing cards. So that's pretty cool. And then when I think about the actual accessory that he comes with, like I think it fits on, his two fingers fit in there. That's kind of cool. So the two fingers fit in there, showing that he's using his power to throw some charged cards off. So I think he's got the best and most appropriate accessory, and he looks pretty good. He's maybe better than Cyclops. Yeah, he's definitely my favorite of this bunch. Really cool. So, all right, knowing that, let's see how they size up against, so this is Hasbro, and Hasbro also did these 5 POA retro style Marvel figures, and you can see that they're about the same size. They work well together. They're a little, like these ones are sculpted, I think maybe a little bit better. I don't know, hard to say. This Gambit is real good. They work really well together, actually. I'm surprised. I'm pleasantly surprised. One of the other things I wanted to compare is Spin Master's superheroes. They've got just a Superman here from one of the sets that I opened up, and they're about the same size as well as the Epic series here. And they've got about the same articulation too, about 9 points of articulation. So that's kind of nice. You could have, Marvel versus DC scenario. They might be a little bit shorter, Spin Master, but they're close enough. What does not fit very well is the DC McFarlane superpowers. They're definitely an inch taller, so that doesn't work at all. And then just for comparison, I thought I'd bring out good old Boba Fett here. And the Star Wars line is just a little bit shorter. I mean, you could make it work. I mean, certainly Wolverine is the shortest. Actually, you know what? Maybe, yeah, Scott's taller. That was Rogue. Rogue's taller. So I think Star Wars might be a little bit too short if you wanted to do a Star Wars versus Marvel versus the X-Men here. But they're all right. They're not too bad. I think your best bet if you want to do any type of mixing it up between various lines for some fun scenarios, you're going to know the Spin Master Works and the Marvel Legends retro styles. Those work as well. So definitely a place for these X-Men 97 figures here at Mr. T's Toys. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did and you'd like to stay up to date with new content and help the channel grow, please like and subscribe. And if you already are subscribing, thank you so much.